Most people believe the moment they get paid is the moment they become financially safer, but for many middle-class households in the United States and Europe, the opposite is often true. Because the first 24 hours after a paycheck arrives are usually the most financially dangerous hours of the entire month. Think about a common situation. A young professional earning around $90,000 a year receives roughly $5,200 after taxes each month, and within just a few days' rent takes about $1,800. The car payment removes $500, student loans take another few hundred, and utilities quietly reduce the balance even more. Suddenly half the paycheck is already gone. But the real financial shift happens right after this moment, because the remaining balance still looks comfortable, maybe $2,000 or more sitting in the account, and psychologically that number feels like freedom. This is when small decisions begin. A dinner out with friends, a few online purchases, maybe a weekend trip that seemed affordable, subscriptions renewing automatically, and none of these choices feel irresponsible on their own. Yet they all happen in the same short window right after payday, and by the middle of the month the account balance is already much smaller than expected, leaving many people quietly asking the same question again and again. Where did all the money go? What's surprising is that the real issue is rarely income, because many people in this situation earn enough to build real savings. The problem is timing. Behavioral economists have observed that when people receive a paycheck, their brain temporarily resets its perception of scarcity. The bank account suddenly looks full again. Financial pressure disappears for a moment, and this creates a psychological permission to spend. But that feeling of safety is often misleading. Imagine someone earning $90,000 per year who manages to save $400 a month. Over 15 years, invested at an average return, that money could grow to around $100,000. Now imagine the same person simply saves $200 more each month, not by earning more but by delaying a few early month purchases. That small difference could grow to around $150,000 over the same time period. The gap between those two outcomes is not created by extreme discipline or complex strategies, but by decisions made during the first 24 hours after payday. Financially thoughtful people understand something subtle about money flow. The first destination of a paycheck determines its long-term impact. When money simply sits in a checking account, it feels available, and available money naturally invites spending. But when part of that paycheck is moved somewhere else quickly, into investments, savings, or retirement funds, the psychological relationship changes. That money stops feeling like spending money and starts feeling like future money. This simple idea is sometimes called the 24-hour paycheck rule, which means the most important financial decision should happen within the first day after income arrives, not at the end of the month when most of the money has already been spent. Consider two co-workers who both earn $85,000 a year and take home around $4,800 per month. The first person waits until the end of the month to save whatever remains, and most months that amount is small or sometimes nothing at all. The second person transfers $600 into investments within 24 hours of getting paid, allowing the rest of the month to adjust around that decision. After 20 years, the difference between those two habits could easily reach hundreds of thousands of dollars, even though both people earn the same salary. The human brain prefers convenience, and spending is always easier than saving because purchases happen instantly while investing requires a small intentional step, and that step rarely happens once spending has already started. This explains why many responsible, educated people still feel financially stuck. They are not careless with money, they simply make their most important financial decisions too late in the month. By the time they think about saving, the paycheck has already been divided among lifestyle costs, subscriptions, and impulse purchases that seemed reasonable at the time. Social pressure also plays a role because right after payday, people feel more comfortable matching the spending habits of friends, co-workers, and social expectations, accepting dinner invitations or weekend plans that feel affordable simply because the account balance looks healthy again. Financially intelligent individuals usually take a quieter approach. They do not necessarily reject these experiences, but they delay the moment when their money becomes socially available. When a paycheck arrives, they first move a portion toward investments or savings, and only afterward does the remaining balance become spending money. Interestingly, this rarely feels restrictive because people naturally adapt to whatever balance they see in their account. If the balance is slightly smaller after saving, spending quietly adjusts around that number without complicated budgeting systems. Over time, this order of decisions becomes powerful, because money that leaves early begins growing quietly in the background while daily life continues normally with what remains. When saving is delayed until the end of the month, it must compete with every expense that appears along the way, And lifestyle expenses almost always win, not because people lack discipline but because the decision arrives too late. The 24-hour paycheck rule is not about financial tricks or aggressive investing. It is simply about deciding the purpose of your money before spending decisions begin. Within the first day after income arrives, a portion of that money either moves toward the future or it slowly dissolves into everyday consumption. Over an entire career, these small early decisions accumulate quietly, and two people with the same salary can end up living very different financial lives. One continues wondering why progress feels slow, while the other gradually builds stability without dramatic lifestyle changes. The difference is rarely intelligence or income. Most of the time, it is simply the timing of a decision made within the first 24 hours after a paycheck arrives. If you found this perspective useful and want more calm, realistic conversations about how money actually works, consider subscribing to the channel.